did you find out that you were going to be the starter for this week?
It's actually kind of funny. Arthur texted me last night around 10:15, and of course I was sleeping. So my alarm goes off this morning around 5:30, 5:45. Look at my phone, that's the first thing I see. So I was like, all right, here we go. So yeah, I found out this morning at 5:45 and came in, started getting ready to go.
So have you ever been texted before that you were going to be the starter for a week, like any coaches in your previous time?
Yeah, in Washington that happened a couple times. Yeah, so this isn't the first go around. Yeah.
You've obviously been in this position before where you were named the starting quarterback and jumping in ready to go. What's different about this time for you?
Well, obviously it's a new team. It's a new offense I've been learning since OTAs and a bunch of new guys. So, whether it's the cadence, different play actions, everything's different. So, again, it's all the hard work that I've been doing since OTAs to feel comfortable with this, to lead up to this moment. So I feel comfortable with it. So, yeah, it's definitely different from other times. But I'm excited for the opportunity.
You said you feel comfortable. What's given you that level of comfort and confidence?
I think just the time put in. Again, we work hard in that quarterback room. We test each other. Coach Rags, he gets after us a little bit. Coach Art as well. So they make sure we're on top of our stuff. So it's a good thing we got going here.
Obviously, it's a delicate balance between this is a business and you and Desmond are teammates. So how do you navigate that relationship?
Yeah, it's tough. It is. There's no kind of beating around the bush there. Again, I've kind of went through this last year with Carson. And then the difference between Carson and Desmond is Carson has been in the league for a long time. This is kind of new for Des. So, he's handled it very well. He's speaking up in meetings. He's very engaged. He's helping me out any way I can. So to see that from a young guy, that's really cool. Just speaks to his character and stuff. So, again, we're still pushing each other. He's preparing like he's going to play. God forbid he might. So we'll see. But Des has done a great job today to, hearing the news and coming to work.
From the time you signed through Sunday, you've been supportive in saying that you're here to be his support guy and to be there if needed. You kind of have to take a different approach now. You've said Sunday it's his team. You need to kind of show it can be your team now, right?
Well, this week, yeah, 100%. That's the only thing I'm focused on is this week. We got a really difficult defense. They do a bunch of different things, so that's enough on my plate right there. So I'm focused on being the guy this week. We'll see what happens going forward, but again, me and Des have a good relationship. He's pushing me, I'm pushing him. We're here to make each other better.
What have the conversations been like with Arthur, and what does he want out of you? As he kind of expressed kind of what he wants from you and what this offense should look like with you at home?
I think it's the basic things for a quarterback. Protect the ball, get the first downs. When we get down the red zone, let's score touchdowns. Don't take sacks, unnecessary sacks. Get the ball in your hand. Let those playmakers do their thing. So, the good quarterbacks in the NFL, they do that. They get the ball in their hands, let their playmakers. That's where they get paid, right? Get the ball in their hands and don't get hit. So, it's easy to say, but let's go out there and do it.
You haven't been getting as many reps. Do you feel like you've got to work a little bit extra? Like today, you were working with them after practice, I assume, to just develop those relationships, kind of like quickly, like cramming for a test.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just kind of feeling people's speeds and how they run routes. Again, I haven't got a lot of reps with Kyle or Drake. Van obviously just got here, so trying to get those reps with them. Understanding their speed, how they run routes, how they see things. That's the biggest thing. But, conceptually, I feel good with everything.
How do you navigate the mentality of, okay, you're the starter this week, who knows what happens moving forward? I know you said that you're focused on what's right in front of you, but how do you balance all of that?
I really don't think about it. I try and be as present as I can be. So, again, the biggest goal and task for me this week is to go out there and play good football and try and get this win. And again, whatever happens in the future happens, and we'll deal with it then. But again, right now, my focus is on the Vikings.
Were you hopeful after your performance in Nashville that maybe this opportunity would be given to be a starter again in the NFL?
Yeah, I felt like I played pretty well. Obviously, we fell up a little short there. But I was happy with the way I played. Obviously, there's some things to clean up, but again, I've been in this position, last 2 years, so I've seen it all. So I kind of just whatever Art or the guys upstairs want to do, and kind of roll with it. There's nothing more you can do other than that.
What's the key is being good at, being ready kind of at a moment's notice? Because it's not easy. So how have you kind of been able to get used to it during your career?
I think the biggest thing is you just prepare like you're starting. I remember my first 4 or 5 years, I never saw the field. I was kind of the third string guy. I didn't even dress on game days, but you kind of practice being a starter by preparing like you're a starter. And I think when your time comes, you know how to prepare. So that's helped me in the past. I was fortunate enough to, kind of be undrafted and kind of get developed. Unlike, a lot of quarterbacks nowadays, if you're drafted in the first 3 rounds, it's like now. Whereas as an undrafted guy, you kind of get, you get to develop more often. So I think that definitely helped me throughout the long run.
You've been through this before the last 2 years, as you said, but how much does it help your comfort level to have gotten that half of play last year?
Yeah, it's huge. I got to get some timing down with Van and Red and Drake, Kyle, kind of get the feel of the game again. Obviously practice is one thing, but live game reps, you can't emulate that. So it was nice to get, kind of dip your toe in the water last week.
What are the previous things you can draw from the previous times you've been in kind of similar situations to this, where you've been the backup and you get a shot to start and you really capitalize on it?
Yeah, again, I always point back to where I was 2.5, 3 years ago. I was out of football. I thought I was done playing, and I always told myself if I get another shot, I'm just going to have a lot of fun with it and just leave it out in the field. I grew up watching Brett Favre. He was very passionate. He had a lot of fun, and you could tell that he just left everything on the field every game. He's the reason I fell in love with the game of football. So when I got that second shot up there in Washington, I kind of just played like that, and it's worked out for me. So, again, that's my mindset going every game. Play like it's your last game, 'cause you never know. Have fun out there, and just be happy at the end of the game that you left it all out there.
How many friends and family can you expect for this game to have a home start?
Well, before I was named starter, I already had 15 people coming. So once I go check the phone, I'm sure it's going to be bad. I might tell them just buy their own tickets.
Looking at this Vikings defense, just what do you see from them? What challenges do they pose? I know they blitz a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of pressures, and it's not just on crucial downs, 3rd downs, 4th downs. Red zone. It could be 1st and 10 at your own 25, and they're bringing cover 0. So you have to have your head on a swivel at all times. They can do anything at any time, any moment. So there's a lot to study there, but we feel confident with the game plan so far.
Who was the first person you called when you found out that you were going to be the starter?
Nobody. I kind of just, I feel like Twitter knows before I do. So I'm sure all my friends found out probably before I did. So
Not at 5:45.
No.
No. You didn't know until 11:40.
Yeah, I may have texted my mom this morning, but yeah.
Anything else?
All
right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Coach, how preparations going for the Vikings change their quarterback and what they might try to morph into?
Well, big thing is being in Green Bay last year, we went against the Rams 3 or 4 different times. And this family pretty much came from there. The head coach, he's from the Rams, did a great job, and then we actually played Minnesota last year 2 times. So we got a feel for what they're doing. You don't know what they're going to do with the young kid or who they've just brought in. But the biggest thing is that we just got to go out there and play like we can play. We need to focus on us and the Atlanta Falcons. We know we played Minnesota. They're a good football team. They've won 4 out of the last 5 games, so they've actually done something right. Biggest thing we got to do is focus on us, though.
And Jaron Hall, how much BYU tape do you got to go back and look at the whole thing? I think.
Well, we had some tape on him, and then we also had about 120-some snap of preseason. So we did have a lot more preseason tape, which was really good. You get a chance to see how he operates. Again, of course, it's with a lot of young guys in there, so you can't really look at that, but you could see how he operates. And I thought he did a really good job in preseason of operating it. On the road, they had 1 road game in Seattle, and we got a chance to see that. So we kind of how he's going to come here in Atlanta.
Well, it's never easy to replace a guy like Brady Jarrett. So did you talk to him after his injury, and just how do you try to fill the hole that he leaves?
Well, unfortunately, I was, kind of like after we got off the plane on Sunday, just kind of walking behind him. He was walking, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And he said, "Hey, feel positive," before he got the information. So I know Grady, he's a positive guy, tough, and then as far as replacing, you really can't. You need a couple of guys to step up. We need the next couple of guys to say, hey, whoever's coming in, you shouldn't try to play like Grady, be like you, but if we got to put two guys in, we got to do that. You can't think you're going to get one guy, and that's going to be Grady Jarrett. We got to do next man up, get ready to go.
How much does that mess with rotations, because you guys have been doing so much kind of hockey line stuff?
Well, I thought Ryan and Hux and all those guys been doing a fantastic job, and we signed a couple of guys, so hopefully that'll kind of help us out. But if you're trying to say is this going to be replacement for Grady, that's not going to happen. We're just trying to get our next guys to play up to just as close to it as we can. If we got to use two guys, got to use three guys, we got to do that.
Well, I guess I'm getting at too is the guy that you used to replace him also not going to play for this the next 4 weeks. Look at how London.
Well, got some more guys. Better get ready.
Do you need name tags?
Hey,
At this point again,
that's kind of how the NFL is, though. If you look around, you get a rash of injuries, and it goes to one position. Now you got to get other guys, and we got to use other guys inside. We got to do that.
What are you guys getting in Contavious Street, and just what do you know about him and his style of play as he joins you guys now?
Well, just knowing that he had been over at NC State and knowing some things like that, so we know a little bit about him. Ryan know about him. There's a couple of guys on the staff I already know, so it's not like he's new. Coming here, we already have a background history with him. We know he's been taught already in college, so he'll get a chance to come into the system and catch up, on what we call things here. But as far as technique, he already knows that, so that's a good thing.
How long does it take really, or what's an ideal amount of time for him to be able to catch up? Is it as soon as this week, you can maybe get in a couple,
Well, if I can give you only my history that I've been with a guy, New England Patriots cut Lloyd Malloy. I was in Buffalo. We signed him on a Thursday, I think. He played on Sunday, every snap. So hopefully he's kind of similar to that, But the thing is, you want guys, if you sign them, to catch up, and that means you're not going home when the other guys are going home. You got to get the terminology down. You got to get this down. We have to give a package to where you're going to be in, and you have to take it serious because everybody's counting on you to do your job. Even though it's a short week for you, it's not a short week for everyone else. But so the expectation is still the same.
You said that's been doing, pretty well. But do you feel like now, as a unit, you have to be even stronger, knowing that there's a quarterback change and that there could be some, growing pains with the offense this week?
No, not really. I think the biggest thing that we have to do is get back to who we are or was on defense. Don't give up explosive plays, stop the run, take the ball away, and give off in short fields. And, with that, I think that'll kind of give them the energy, give us the energy on what we need to go out there and win the football game.
How does the dynamic change without having Kirk Cousins under center for the Vikings?
Well, when you look at it, Kirk has been there the last, 8 or 9 years. I was there with him, operates great. Understand what he's supposed to do, very smart guy. He gets guys lined up. He can do what he's supposed to do. The biggest thing is it's going to be a little different because you got a guy on a short week, just like we have. So he's been there, but it's still different. Now you're on the road. There's going to be noise. How do you operate in that? And it'll be a little different, but the big thing we can't do is take it for granted that he is a young guy and he come out there and make some throws and light us up. We got to go out there and do our job first.
You mentioned the explosives from last week. What led to those from y'all's end, you think?
Well, the biggest thing is I go back and I look and say, first thing I always look and say, what did I not do? Because I look at coach first. Did I not put him in this position? Did I not do that? And, I look at myself, hey, I'll take that one. The biggest thing we can't do is make it a habit, let guys come in and think that they can get the explosive plays every week. And, I got to go out there and do a better job. Hey, look, this have to be, it doesn't matter who's behind the center. And I think sometimes you can see, there's a young guy. Well, if you're in this NFL, you're not young anymore. You just may have young in years, but you deserve to be here. And then that's how stars are made in this league. It doesn't matter who you are, what type of name you got. If you out there and you playing, they expect you to play at the best.
How do you, on the first touchdown pass, how do you teach A.J. Terrell off the bat? Because it looked like he got held and explained?
Well, I mean, the thing is that, just trying to get information on how to play. And that's the biggest thing that we try to do. We want to play fair. We don't want to be taught, hey, I'm going to grab a guy. I'm going to see how much I can get away with. Because I think if you do that, then that's going to become who you are. And then you're going to get a lot of penalties. So I want my guys to go out there and play fair, play even. And, if it's something like that happens, it happened. They didn't call it. But the next time, let's play up to their level, though. So now you're letting us know that you're not going to call it, then let's go ahead and play like that. So, we always try to do the right thing. We want to be fair and just be in position. I don't like giving up any touchdowns. So now, you know what, the gloves off, and we're going to play like we know how to play.
So you feel like that was Indiana?
I'm not going to say. They didn't throw the flag, so it didn't happen.
Hey, Coach, they haven't ran it pretty well this year because Kurt, I guess, was throwing it so well too. But Coach, saying, hey, they probably got to lean on the run more with the younger kid in there. How do you all, try to prepare for what they may or may not do?
Yeah, when you look at them, if you go back to the Rams when they were actually making that run to the Super Bowl, Akers did a really good job of running the football, and they play action pass, and of course they had a really, really good drop back game. Their receivers were one of the top in the league. So the thing is that I think that in order to make that's what they're trying to do over there. You got to run the football, got to be even. You can't be just pass happy, pass heavy on one side, because now you are a young guy and you're going a bunch of dropbacks in someone else's territory. That's where a lot of sacks start showing up. So, we're trying to make sure that they don't run the ball, get them in second and long, third and long, to where we can get our guys, pass rushing. That's the object for us to do, not let them get the 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3s, 3rd and 1s, because now the game is in their hands and they're actually doing what they want to do.
Is Addison running the Cooper Cup routes?
Well, I mean, the thing is not really. I think they're doing a combination of all of them. When you look at them, they doing a really, really good job of putting guys in position. When they lost Jefferson, they were kind of shaking up a little bit, and you could tell, but then all of a sudden the next week they came right back. I watched them against the 49ers, and they were all competing. They did a really good job, and then even last week against Green Bay, just about all those guys caught the ball. So, Kirk was really, really spreading the ball around to different guys, so where it wasn't just a Jefferson show. So now that makes him even more dangerous, because if you got Jefferson in, you say, hey, roll to him, take him out the game, make him throw somewhere else. But now you got to play all 3 receivers and the tight end. I think they're doing a good job.
We all got the news this morning. We came out and Coach talked to us and talked about the quarterback change. How do you feel like it impacts your team, and how you guys adjusting?
I think we're adjusting well. We're ready for whoever's back there, and I think that, with Taylor being back there, then we're adjusted already. We've always gotten rest with them, so it's not like we're just playing catch up. We've been with Taylor, this whole time, just like as we've been with Dez. So now that Taylor's at the number 1 spot, we just got to keep it rolling and not hold back from anything.
How was it for you? You and Dez have done a lot of bonding
Mm-hmm.
when you arrived here.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to stop it just because he's not, the starting quarterback. Me and Taylor, we've done a lot of bonding as well. When out in fall camp, we were all roommates. So it was me, Dez, Taylor, and Logan. So I've been with those guys for a long time now, and we all have a great relationship, and we all get along really well together.
What was the vibe from Taylor when he came to step in Sunday?
Say one more time.
What was the vibe in the huddle inside, like when he stepped in Sunday, because they was really moving and progressing?
Yeah, I mean, we were ready to go. We understood that, he was the one that was coming up, after halftime. So we didn't hold back from anything, and we understood that, we can't, just because Taylor's in the game, we're not trying to, take a step back. And he reminded us that in the huddle as well. He was like, man, let's go, drive down the field, let's go score, and that's what we did. So, the only thing how we lost that game was just time. So I think, he did a really good job facilitating when he came in.
What about this Vikings team? They got a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. What do you see when you look at them?
Yeah, I mean, they're just, a really good defense. They got a really good D-line, really good linebackers that run to the football, that flow to the ball, and they play really good team ball as well. So for us, we got to come in there physical, understanding that, we need to start fast, start early. And I know some games in the past, we started slow, which we can't do that, especially at home. So we got to, make sure that we're, understanding the play call and go out there and just play our game and have fun doing it because, they're going to come in here and, we're both 4-4 and they're going to try to get a win, in our home stadium.
How much does a running game help coming in, regardless of who's quarterback, but obviously will it change? How much you feel like the running game is going to really be a help this week if it goes well? Yeah,
I think it's going to be a huge help. We pride on running the football. So for us, getting it started early and letting, Taylor be comfortable and get those passes and get whatever the reads he has. I think that the run game will help a lot, open up, and then it'll let Taylor do his thing, and then that's how we play complementary offense. Just getting that run game going to get the pass game, and vice versa. So I think it'll be exciting to have him. We saw that glimpse in the second half last game, so I think it's gonna be fun to, have a guy like him ready to go.
You've been, you have reached out to Dez in these, early moments of the highs and lows. Is there anything that you sent to him when the news came out, or is there anything that you said to him?
Well, the news came out. We were right next to each other.
Yeah.
Right? It came out today, so he was fine. He didn't look worried or fazed or anything. We were just still laughing. We were all eating at the table, and me and Taylor was right next to us as well. So, we were good. We didn't put a show on or put nothing on. I mean, it just what had to be done, I guess.
Coach called it like it's for this week. Is it better to know who your QB1 is going in the future, or is it just, hey, let's take it week by week?
Yeah, just take it week by week, man. I mean, we're just focused on this week, focus on the Vikings, and then, we'll, play our best game and play our best brand of football, and then just focus on.
These guys are very professional. Vibes any different at practice today?
No vibes are different. You still had Desmond, hyping everybody up, getting everybody ready to go, and that's what we like to see by him. And then Taylor was doing the same thing when he was in the huddle, so the vibes were the same. Nothing really changed up. And I mean, that was just good to see for myself and just keeping that positive mindset, around the whole offense, the whole team.
You all have been able to move the ball, but it's just been scoring and turnovers. How do you all try to, eliminate, start scoring and then, taking care of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, just know what we got to do before the play call and just being efficient. Like, we can't get ourselves backed up. We can't play catch up anymore. Like, that's all stuff that had us struggling. In the losses that we took, we always had to play catch up, especially like this last week, getting in the backed up and then having to try to score, take the long drive. So we just can't do that. And then when we start, moving the ball efficiently, then we'll be good, and I think we'll score, as much as we can.
And what was it feeling like in the huddle when Taylor came in and y'all started moving first down, started getting it going, scoring points? What was that feeling like?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. We obviously we want to be, as efficient as we can, and we want to, complete balls, complete passes, and, make sure that we're doing what we're doing on the run game so we can help Taylor out. So it felt good to move the ball down the field and score those, score those touchdowns. Obviously, you want one more to win the game, but, it was a small glimpse of, some exciting stuff that happened at that game against the Titans.
Change was made, the offense started rolling, got a couple field goals in there. What was that like on Sunday?
Just, trying to put drives together to score. So, unfortunately we didn't score it, but we came out with field goals, but it's something to work on this week.
But the TDs came, and what was that like? 20 points in the first half, I think that was the tops for the year.
I mean, it's always great to score, but we're not doing comparing, so it is what it is.
Do you feel difference just even kind of in just veteran experience from Heinicke compared to Desmond? We're still kind of, learning the ropes a little bit. I mean, do you feel it out in the field just in the huddle and the command and things like that?
I mean, I don't want to get into the comparing game. So, like I said, they're two different players, and they bring two different skill sets to the table.
Are there any challenges having a different quarterback, like from one week to another week, since it could be a week-to-week decision by coach?
I mean, we've practiced. We've been practicing all year since OTAs and in the off season, so we're still catching balls from Taylor. So, everybody's pretty good with him.
I'm sorry. Obviously, with the new quarterback, cadence is different. How long does it take to adjust to that?
I mean, we get a lot of reps in practice, so we'll be working through it through the week.
And what did you notice from Taylor when he was put in the second half that you guys were able to move the ball a little bit more effectively downfield?
Just efficiency as an offense. I wouldn't say it was solely on him. It takes all 11 to make a play go, so for all of us to come together and execute.
Was it nice to kind of get a little surge of energy there in the offense in the second half?
I mean, it's always nice to move the ball down the field, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was one person or, that caused it.
Have you noticed any difference from Desmond today, just in his demeanor, or does he feel like he's the same guy no matter starter or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously tough, but, we're still behind him. We're still supporting him and, keeping him up.
We all found out the news, when Coach came in to talk to us about the change. Thoughts about how it's affecting you guys and what you have to do this week?
Yeah, I don't think much is going to change as far as like our preparation and our mindset going into this week. Obviously, we've been playing with Taylor all offseason, all camp. We've all got a lot of reps with him. So just excited for him, for his opportunity, and we'll be ready to go.
What was it like when he came in the huddle Sunday?
It was good. Like I said, we've had a lot of reps with him, so we kind of knew what to expect. He brings a great energy. He's played a lot of football in this league. He's had a lot of success. I played against him in the playoffs about 3 years ago, and I remember he almost took us out that year. So just a really good player, and we're excited to play with him.
Yeah, what's it like to finally go out on the field knowing that he's the guy this week? I mean, I don't know how long you guys have been playing about it, but now we all know it. And how much does it help you guys out in the tournament?
Yeah, I think it's nice. Always nice to know what quarterback's going to be out there as far as receivers to get kind of extra reps with them, get your timing down. But, I mean, we all have a ton of confidence in Dez still as well. So it's obviously not up to us. We'll go out there with whoever and just try to make it work.
You're back home. Thoughts about your facing team. Talk about Minnesota and some of the pieces they have defensively that are going to really test you guys.
Yeah, they do a really good job defensively. They give a lot of different looks. They'll throw the whole kitchen sink at you. So we just kind of got to be prepared and ready for everything. They got Byron Murphy at corner, talented guy. I think they paid him this offseason. Played against him when he was in Arizona, so just got to be ready for him. And like I said, all the different looks they'll throw at us, and we got to be prepared.
Tell us about your challenge this weekend. You don't know much. You're not going to get Cousins at quarterback.
Yeah.
Tell us about facing this team.
Man, just trying to see who the quarterback is. Whoever it is, we'll be prepared for him. Obviously, they just traded for Josh Dobbs. Josh has been around the league. I played with him a couple of times, so we'll know he's a competitor. He's a master at going into dealing with adversity, going into situations and making things happen quickly. So with that being said, man, we just got to be prepared for that.
What's about this defense where it is now? Everyone's talking about, the person you lost in Grady. How you guys can set to move ahead?
Anytime you lose a high-level Pro Bowl player like, Grady, you never can replace that. But you just have to, you do different scenarios to make sure you kind of even get the same production for him. The younger guys are ready for the test as well. It'll be a big testament for them. Also, a bit puts more on us as well to go out there and play our better game for to make up for the loss of Grady. And just unfortunate for the situation, but it's football and we got to continue to truck on and keep them in our prayer.
Also about a situation where you go in against a team that's going to have a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Dobbs gets to play, or the guy they have there. But either way, talk about the pass rush and how you guys can really impact.
For sure. Yeah, this type of game, you have to affect the quarterback. If it's getting sacks, hands up, tip balls, interceptions, everything of that nature, making them uncomfortable. You have to go out there, man, with a mindset that you have to make him uncomfortable as possible. And that comes from all over defense as well. Each level, up front, middle, and secondary as well, collectively as a group. So it's always exciting for the next opponent, and they just so happen to be the next opponent. We got to go out there, man, and get this W.
What was it about like when you came in Sunday and got things really going with you guys in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, we still lost the game, so it's frustrating. We got some things going, but it was a little too late. But let's build off that and find a way to sustain that for the 4 quarters and get a win. And that's our mindset this week. And starting today, we had a good practice today, and that's the goal, to get that done.
That's about the defense. You got some talented pieces over there. You guys approach them.
Yeah, they're very talented defense, excellent front, especially on the line, and we're going to have our hands full. And they do a really good job mixing up their looks and schemes. So we got a lot of different things we got to prepare for. But I think today was a really good start, and let's keep building off that and get ready to roll.
How close do you guys feel to really clicking on offense?
I think kind of our story this year is we've done a lot of good things, but we've got to take that next step and finish and have that translate into points on the scoreboard. We get down the red zone a lot, and we just need to finish drives. It's just little things. It's not that it's one person. It's here and there. 1 out of 11 guys maybe being a little off can affect it. That's how, tough it is to play and win in the NFL. So I think if we can shore that stuff up, we'll like where we're at.
How do you guys capitalize on the momentum that you were talking about, especially with a new change at quarterback and some new pieces in play this week?
I think just being us and fixing those little things like I was saying, because we've shown and we've done a lot of good things. We've won a few games, and obviously we've had games that we aren't happy with, but I think we're close. So if we can shore up those little things, we're going to like where we're at.